Hello and welcome to the short recap of the fourth round from the Croatian National Championship. We had 5 draws today and 1 victory. We'll start with 3 draws, which were very quick, and I will just show the games without any commentary because they were really quick. D4, knight f6, knight f3, g6, c4, bishop g7, g3, c6, bishop g2, d5, cd, cd, knight e5, castle, knight c3, e6, castle, bishop d7, bishop f4, knight c6, rook c1, knight h5, knight c6, and players agreed to a draw. It's not a surprise for this variation. In general, the Fianchetto-Grinfeld is quite a drawish variation. Next game was between Kovacic and Jovanic, and like yesterday, Kovacic played the English opening, and the first couple of moves were basically the same as yesterday, but here Jovanic decided to go d5 immediately instead of castling. d4 played, ed4, knight d4, and c5, queen h4, dc4, bishop c4. This was all played also by Lev Aronian with black twice, so this variation has a solid reputation for black. Castle, castle, bishop e6, black wants to trade the bishops, bishop e2, knight d5 novelty and also the best move according to the engines. Queen e7, knight e7, bishop d2, rook d8, rook d1, f6, b3, and players agree to draw, although white has a bishop pair, but black has really no weaknesses. He can play a5, a4, and if he trades off those pawns, he will hold this position easily. Next game was between Stevic and Šarić Ante, and it was also very similar as previous ones. e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2, c5, ed5, queen d5, knight f3, cd4, bishop c4, queen d6, castle, knight f6, knight b3, knight c6, knight bd4, knight d4, knight d4, a6, rook e1, queen c7, bishop f1, bishop e7, queen f3. In general, the knight d2 line is also... It's typical to have these kinds of positions with both sides. Castle, bishop f4, bishop d6, takes, and rook d1. Queen c7, queen g3. White hopes to achieve something in the endgame, but this is exactly what black wants. Takes, takes, and bishop d7. Finally, he has developed his bishop, and this makes a French player a very happy one. Knight f3, rook d8, knight e5, bishop e8. He will move his king to e7, trade rooks, and offer a draw, and this is almost exactly what happens. c4, king f8, f3, king e7, g4, h6. Important is to prevent g5, king f2, rook c8, b3, takes, takes, b5, rook d4, rook c5, knight d3, rook c8, and here they repeated the moves and agreed to draw. The position is anyway equal. The next game, which was way more interesting, was between Zelčić and Plenša. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop b5. The 4 knights attack with bishop b5. Here the moves with best reputation are bishop b4 and knight d4, but you need to know some theory, and bishop d6 is a bit easier to play, and also it has a solid reputation. So bishop d6 played, castle, castle, d3, a6, bishop a4, h6, a3, rook e8, bishop e3, bishop f8, bishop b3, d6, h3. White wants to play rook e1 and d4. Black plays bishop e6, he wants to take on b3, but white takes first. Rook e6, if f e6, then white can play d4 and claim some advantage because he has f4 ideas, and g6 square is weakened, and so on, but not a big deal for black. So black took on e6, now knight d5, and black cannot take on d5 because he's losing a knight, so rook e8, c4, and white can claim advantage here because he has traded off the light squared bishops, and he's his pawn structure is good because he has pawns on c4, d3, e4 on light squares, and he doesn't have a light squared bishop, and his bishop is better there than his counterpart. Next move is b4 and slowly expand on the queen side. Black played knight d7, he wants to get rid of this knight, b4, knight e7, rook e1, c6, and finally he is getting rid of this knight from d5. White does not want to trade pieces when he has a spatial advantage. f5, g3, knight f6, and now white could have played queen b3 or c5 with some complications, or king g2, which all the moves give him advantage, but he played bishop d2, which is connected with a strange idea to play d4 in this position, which is unnecessary, and you don't need to open a center in that way. Queen d7 attacking the h3, and now white has lost all of his advantage. If king g2, then knight g6, and d5 coming next. So d4, and black took everything what he can possibly take, and played knight g6, which is correct, because queen h3 is very dangerous. After queen e2, rook e1, you will have huge problems with this knight on e7 and rook on e8. So black played knight g6, queen e2, rook e8 was a bit precise and better because you need to trade rooks and put bishop on c3 and make a draw, but I think the white hasn't still made that switch that now he's the one who is playing to equalize. Queen e2 takes, knight e5, both pawns are hanging, so you need to play knight f5, queen f7, again pawn is hanging, rook c1, rook e8, rook c3. The problem is you can't really pin black, because after d5 you will lose material. Either knight on f5 or knight f3 is losing the rook, because after queen f4, which is the only move which covers both of those threats, after g5 eventually you will have to lose material. So white played rook c3 instead, and now b5, correct way, taking away the c4 square, and this pawn on a3 might become a weakness. Queen c2 and queen d5, which looks extremely logical and threatening knight f3, and it looks like black is winning. And also knight c4 is a threat, but actually none of those moves are really a threat, and we will see in this line why not. The best move here, and the only one which gives equality, is f4, forcing black to jump, and after knight f3 or knight c4 we have knight h6, and if g takes h6, then queen g6 actually wins this rook. So you can play knight c4, but also this does not change much. After g takes h6, again queen g6, so you can play king h8, try to be smart, but again queen g6. And now the problem is that white has this perpetual. So f4 was a very strong move, but it's a tough move to make, because it seems like your king is extremely bad. Already he's not in a great position, but after f4 it looks even more horrible. White played bishop e3 instead, blocking the e-file. Knight f3, king f1, and now rook e1 is not a checkmate. And knight h2 is nothing. After king g1, black played rook e5, g4 and h5, trying to win this pawn, but this was not the best chance for black. But now it's clear to say this, but in the game it's not so obvious. Queen b3, rook b3, black took and gave check and took pawn on g4, and it seems like he won a pawn, but after knight d4 he will lose pawn on c6 or b5, and he does not have enough material to convert this advantage. He played c5. White took. If he took on b5 first, then he would drop a piece after c4, so he has to take on b5. Black took, knight b5, c4, rook b1, knight e3 takes, and bishop c5, and again black won some pawn, but there is so little material on the board that this is not enough for victory. King d2, rook e3, a4, g5, rook c1. This bishop is extremely well placed, and white cannot play rook g1 because after rook d3 he will lose this rook. So he played rook c1, rook e4, king c3, g4, rook c2, important move that you stop the g4 pawn on the g2 square. g3, rook g2, bishop f2, and it seems like this rook is completely trapped. But this does not matter much because white has his a pawn, which is a very strong asset. a5, bishop e1, king c2, and here black decided that it's time to make a draw and he took on a5. But if he tries to play something like rook h4 or rook f4 with the idea to put rook on second rank and win the game after a6, rook h2 with point after rook h2, g takes h2, a7, that the queen is covering a8 square and he wins, he needs to consider then that after a7, rook g2, king b1, he will lose the game because he cannot stop a8 queening and winning the game. So you can lose a chess game in every moment basically, but he decided that it's time to make a draw, and here they agreed for a draw because after knight d6, rook e2, king b1, after c3, white can play rook f3, king e7, and trade rooks even with rook e3 and knight f5, knight e3, and take the pawn on c3 and immediately make a draw. The game between Martinovic and Stevic was also an interesting one. The King's Indian was played, bishop e2, bishop e3, the modern way of treating the playing against King's Indian, c6. Kozhov likes this move because after e5, d5, a5, this g4, h4 line is a bit annoying, so he likes to be flexible. That's why he plays c6, and now if you play g4, he will play d5, and suddenly g4 looks a bit strange. So white has to be a bit careful here. He plays h3. He can play also knight f3, but this transposes after e5 to some standard classical King's Indian with c6, which Kozhov plays. So Martinovic played h3, e5, d5, a5, knight f3, bishop d7. I don't know why to start with bishop d7. I would always start with knight a6, but maybe it's the same stuff. Castle, knight a6, knight d2, knight c5, queen b1, or queen c2, but queen b1 is connected with an idea which a bit surprised me. After queen a7, white did not play b3 with an idea to play a3 and b4 later on, but he played b4 at once. He does not care about the ideal pawn structure, he just wants to take the pawn and create pressure on this c5 knight. And actually it's not an easy task for black to challenge this. Computer at first gives b6 as the best move, because you can't really take on b6, as you're losing the queen after rook b8 and rook b7, but you can take on c6 and now take, and you're attacking the bishop. And black has this resource, attacking the c3 knight, so you have to take, takes, and this is a way forced line, which you need to calculate very good, and then realize that you shouldn't be scared of this position, but me personally, with black pieces, I would consider this as close to losing. It looks so scary with black. Although computer says it's a dead draw, even after e4 white can play rook b1. And now after knight b1, rook b1, white will play bishop d5, rook b7, maybe he will take on f7, he will push a4 pawn. I really don't see how to stop this. So this is a very tough move to make, and Kozhov played bishop c8, a more humane move. And now I don't like what Martinovic played. He played a4. I think maybe even maybe rook b1 was better. Also very interesting was bishop c5 now, which is also not an easy move to make, but it makes some sense in this position because you already have an open b file, and now you want to push a4, a5 and put knight on b6 and claim that this bishop pair and dark squares are really not that much for black. He played a4 and now knight d7. Black is controlling everything. Knight b3. He wants to trade those knights, but black does not want this. Knight a6, queen a3, c5, and I think black here is perfectly fine. The next move of white I also didn't like much, but it's not an easy task to give some good move here, because black wants to play e5. White is preparing to counter it with f4, but first he cannot play f4 because his knight on c3 is hanging, so he played queen c1. And now I think black hurried a bit much and he was afraid of this move f4. But he can play here knight b4. He can play actually king h8. f4 and knight b4 and act like he does not really care about what's white going to do, because after f5, knight e5, there is this square knight d3, and normally in these types of positions you don't have the b4 square for your knight, and also you don't have the rook on a8, which is attacking pawn on a4, so this knight cannot move to b5, and it's way more different than usual pawn structures in King's Indian with this f4, f5 setups. Also black can play knight f6 here or knight b4, but he chose f4 and I think this is a bit premature. Bishop, although it's still position is still about equal. Bishop d2, knight f6, queen b1. During the live transmission I thought that bishop f3 is maybe a more logical one, but after knight b4 you have to play queen b1 to cover this square, and black will move his queen and f4 is not hanging, so it's still unclear. But white played queen b1 first, knight b4, a5, and queen d7 is the move I don't like that much. He wants to play queen f5, but problem after knight b5 is that he will not play this move, and he was in some way preparing for the knight e4 moves or bishop f3 to counter it with queen f5, but after knight b5 the queen d7 looks a bit ridiculous. King h8, and now I think white took on b4, but maybe bishop f3 is a better move, because you need to play bishop f3, and bishop b4 you can play anytime you want. He took on b4 and played knight d2, and now black took, white took, rook a6, bishop f3, and this was the white's idea to have the e4 square. And white has some advantage here, but he didn't make a precise move here. Rook g8, knight e4. He needs to put his knight on e4, but to play knight c3 first, and after bishop h6 or bishop f8, king h2, and now next move is knight e4. He played knight e4 first, and then after knight e4, rook e4, bishop f8, king h2, black played queen g7, and now we see the problem. Rook e2, bishop f5, and if you play knight c3 after bishop d3, you're losing the exchange. The other problem is that black is threatening e4, winning more material because g2 is hanging, and white decided that it is time for positional exchange sacrifice, so he played knight c3, bishop d3, rook e1, bishop e2, rook e2, queen c7, rook b2, b6, and queen b5. White has some compensation, and I thought that the position is roughly balanced, but it seems like computer really likes the exchange, although these light squares are really terrible. But white has another problem which is not so obvious, and this is his king. He has the weaknesses on the first rank, and also g2 is weak and the g3 square is weak. Rook a1, knight e4, rook c1, rook b4, queen b6 was better, but then he would have to consider this endgame, which is no much fun. So he didn't like this. He played rook b4, bishop e7, rook a4, and now black had a very strong move, bishop h4. The idea is queen g7 and bishop g3 with a checkmate. It looks primitive, but it works. And if you play queen b2, there is another very strong move, which is b5. Rook c4 is possible, but b5 is really the move. And if c takes b5, then this rook is defended. And if queen b5, then you're no longer attacking the rook, so you have to take, and now black takes, and after queen a3, queen a7 defends the pawn and attacks on f2, so you have to play c5, but this is just lost. And this was the critical moment in the game, because black was winning in one move. White didn't have to allow this, but he was in some sort of time trouble. Anyway, this was move 40, so black played rook c8 and bishop g4, and now rook d8 also a bit unfortunate, because after queen c6 you have to go on b8, only square for the queen. And here rook b4, queen a7, the players repeated the moves. There were some very interesting options. I thought that rook e1 is a great move, with the point if you play rook b6 there is queen a7 and queen a1 threatening mate, but white can play c5, and now he has some threats because of this e5 pawn, rook a6 and so on. But black can take on e4 with the point that after rook e4, bc5, he's a pawn up, and now this bishop h4 idea will become very strong, and he's a pawn up. But computer again points out that rook b6 here is very strong, because now rook is no longer on the first rank. Queen a7, rook b7. Black has to force a draw here with queen a1, rook e7, rook e1, check, check. And here if queen goes to d7, then only move is king h6. And if queen goes to e7, then only move is king g6. And white does not have anything better than perpetual, as he can even try this check, but again it's perpetual. Instead of rook e1, black can also try bishop h4 with some advantage, but Kozul decided to repeat the moves, as he's leading tournament with 1 point and there is no need to take any higher risks. So we've come to the last game between Davor Rogic and Marin Bosiocic. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c, d4, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, a6, g3, Najdorf. This is exactly what Rogic did against Kozul, and Kozul played knight c6. But Bosiocic played e5, knight e2, bishop e7, bishop g2, castle, castle, b5, knight d5, takes, takes, rook a7, bishop e3, rook b7, queen d2, knight d7. Rook c1 novelty. Normally they've played knight c3 here, and after knight f6, bishop g5, bishop e6. White was taking on f6 and knight d5, bishop g5, queen d3 with some position which is typical for Sveshnikov, and the pawn structure is very similar. White is happy because he's not risking anything. Black is happy because he thinks there's nothing much going on for white here. Rogic played rook c1 instead, and Bosiocic decided to wait a bit to let white show what's his idea. He can play knight f6 here or b4, but he played h6, which is also fine. c4 and b4. Now, which is important to take away the c3 square, bishop h3, a5, and black is okay here. Rook d1, queen c7, f3, rook d8, queen e1, rook b8, queen f2, bishop a6, bishop f1, and it feels like in this stage of game black was doing very well. His regrouping was better than white. Knight c5, b3, bishop g5 takes, queen e3. Here he has a very nice edge. He can play f6 here. He can play a4 first to weaken this square, but he chose queen b6, bishop h3. The one point of queen b6 was that after king h1 you can play even g4. After fg, bishop b7, bishop g2, you can just continue positionally with bishop c6, because there is no way that white can defend this pawn, and queen b7 is next move and just taking one. e4, which is a bit surprising, but also very instructive. If you play rook e1 here, then knight e4 is very strong. So white played bishop h3. This is a much better square for this bishop, to be honest. a4, rook b1, ab, and g6. I believe this is a critical point of the game, because g6 is the start of the wrong plan. g6 is a move which black does not really need. He needs to defend this pawn at some point. He cannot leave it there forever. g6, knight c1. White is overprotecting this square, and he wants to have a knight d3 option. Bishop b7. Again here, trading those bishops was a better option, because this bishop is not really better than this one. This one is just hitting the rock on e4, and this one is controlling some squares. King g2. Now the pawn is hanging. Rook a8, rook b2, again pawn is hanging. Rook a1, and white grabbed the pawn, because knight e4 is nothing, it's just one check. So black played king g7 positionally, but there is not enough compensation for him. Bishop g4, and this h-pawn is becoming really dangerous. Rook a8, h4, bishop e4, h5, very strong move. This would be a horrible mistake after knight e4, queen e7. Now not rook 1 to a7 because of bishop d7, but rook 8 to a7. If you play queen e8, then there is even knight f6 move. There is even this move, and this rook c1 is very cute motive. So taking the bishop is terrible, but h5 looks so tempting because you're threatening mate in 2. h6 and queen f6, and here black played some sort of desperado. Knight d3, h6, king f8. If you play king h7, then queen f6, king h6, rook h1 is checkmate. Rook g8 also loses because of queen f7. So he tried at least with king f8, with the point that after h7 he can go back to g7, and he's not getting mated. But white played a great move, queen f6, with the threat of h7, queen d8. If black plays something like queen d4, then it's important to defend this rook with rook d2 or rook e2, and h7 is unstoppable. Black played queen d8. Now white can take on d8 and take on d3 and win this position slowly after 20-30 moves, because he will win b4 and push the b pawn. He has 2 pieces for the rook, but Rogic played something way more better. Queen g7, king e7, f takes e4, temporarily sacrificing an exchange. Knight b2, rook f1, threatening mate in 1, so you have to defend. With queen g8, queen f6, king e8, and queen d6, threatening bishop d7. and queen e5, and here Bosiocic resigned because after rook d8, queen e5, king f8, the b2 knight is dropping, and everything drops. Queen on g8 is terrible, and this was a great finish from Rogic, and thank you for watching this, and I hope we see you tomorrow.